From ABC News, what will Senate Democrats do? There are really only two options. One is vote for a pretty bad CR, says Angus King, the independent from Maine. Vote for a pretty bad CR. We agree. Yeah, that's what's amazing. Ed, again, trying to avoid a brain hemorrhage here, they're belly aching about this being a bad continuing resolution when all we've heard all week long from the Thomas Massey types is, and by the way, still Rand Paul, who says he's not going to support this CR, it's full of waste and bloat, and they don't want to pass it because they hate all the waste and bloat. We are fully funding government at virtually baseline levels. Now, we're not increasing spending. That is one thing that the budget hawks in the House were clear on. We are not increasing. We're increasing defense spending, but we are offsetting it with some cuts in others. But we're not fundamentally reducing the spend for the rest of the year. Government's going to get all its goodies for the rest of the year, despite conservatives' objections. We all held our nose and said, let's just get this over with, rather than keep fighting about appropriations every 30 days. And so conservatives, hardliners, held their noses and got this out of the House. And guys like Angus King say, well, this is a really bad CR. Get the game? Democrats are unhappy, not because of the CR, not because it continues to fully fund the government. They're unhappy because this boxes them in to getting last year's budgetary items off the table and on to the discussion of a government budget driven by Republicans and Trump and Doge. They don't want to have a discussion and a fight in September about all the waste and the fraud that Elon Musk has found and Donald Trump and Republicans don't want to fund. And I go back one more time to Van Jones in 948. This is what Democrats don't want to do. They would rather fight about this CR because if they've got to go into the fall discussing a new budget Republicans and Trump want, this is going to be their problem. 948 again.
The Democratic Party is going through a massive set of internal crises. You have a party that got trapped two ways. One, defending a broken status quo that nobody likes because they thought that Donald Trump was going to make it worse. But when you're defending the status quo, you're going to lose. And then offending most people in the country, calling everybody sexist and racist and transphobic and every other name, and then saying, please follow us. That's not a good strategy, folks. Defending a broken status quo.
So, yeah, that's good. Defending a broken status quo and offending much of the country. Not standing up for women and defending a big bloated government. Versus Donald Trump, who yesterday was asked about thinning the herd of federal employees in cut 1007. Paulie, 1007. Here's Trump asked about it yesterday.
What responsibility do you feel to the civil servants who have now lost their jobs? Many of them worked at the Department of Education during your first term.
Sure, I do. I feel very badly, but many of them don't work at all. Many of them never showed up to work. Many of them never showed up to work, Kelly, and unfortunately, and that's not good. And when we cut, we go, and that's what I had a number of meetings with a lot of people over the last couple of months. When we cut, we want to cut, but we want to cut the people that aren't working or not doing a good job. We're keeping the best people. And Linda McMahon is a real professional, actually a very sophisticated business person. And she cut a large number, but she kept the best people.
So, one party defending the status quo, and you just heard what Van Jones said about that. One party trying to cut the waste, the fraud, the abuse, the bloat, purge this system of taxpayer money that's been floating around in government, get it back to the people, get manufacturing back, change the direction of this country. The American people see one guy working hard to try to change the dynamic, and the American people see another dynamic of a party that wants nothing changed. Maintain the status quo across the board. This is so slam dunk easy. Holy crap, this is easy. I just did it. In less than an hour, I have just messaged for the Republican Party.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.